Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Okay, so we're down to I think we're down to our last cut here. And we'll clean off the wall. Take a measurement. And we're going to 608. And we are now, I believe, at 600. $598. So we need 10 more thousandths. 10 more thousandths coming up. There's 5. There's 10. We're going to go 1 under just in case. And I believe we are there. Yep, on the money. Okay, so now we're still centered, so we can come in and do the perimeter, and that'll get us to the next step. And I think we need to bring the table up for this. That's probably far enough. We're going to come out. We're going to rotate. We want to find this point out here and bring our bit out to that, because that's what's going to, of course, hit first. Ouch. Bring our bit down. And we could probably just turn it on, bring it up until it starts banging. Well, you can't see that, can you? All right, well, Nick Collier, again, it's the next morning. We're going to get off and start cutting this thing again. And hey, follow along. So we're dead center right now because I was cutting the other day and it tossed it off a little bit. So we had to recenter it. Now we'll just bring the table back out. Drop it down. Well, actually, we should bring the table up. All right, that looks pretty good. Can you see it? Well, let's get you up there a little bit more. All right. So bring the table out, turn on our mill, get the bit in position, rotate our flip the other way. Huh. Well, that doesn't seem right. All right, well, we know we're centered. It must have been kind of working its way off there for a while. Oh, no, that's right. I cut this and I ended up going over to that side and grabbed, and it threw it off. So I'm thinking let's speed this up a little bit. Okay, so what we've got is we're just a little shy right here, but I'm worried about that wall thickness. So we're going to measure the wall thickness. And come over to the other side and take a measurement there. And this wall is just slightly thicker by 10 thousandths. So that's just about right. And we're going to take some off of the other side also when we come back in to do a final cut with a finished bit. So I'm thinking we'll just stop here. There's just a little bit of a lip right there. Well, not much of one, huh? Yeah, maybe we'll come in and take another another few thousandths off of that, and then sweep around, and that way we'll have it, this will be below, or this will be below this radius, and no, this this will be above this radius, so that when we come in and machine this surface, we'll be able to take a measurement from both sides and just take it across and catch all of those little grooves. So we'll take another 10. Just a little bit. Okay, well, we got the upper triple clamp in, and we got that hole centered, and now we're boring it out to 1 inch. I believe it's 1 inch. We're going to have to measure it, make sure. Okay, so our hole is sitting at 925 thousandths, and we do have to go to 1 inch 1,000ths. That's the size of our piece. So I'm guessing, maybe 1 inch 3,000ths. So we have 75 more to go. I think we can crank in a little bit more without having to take any major measurements. So we're sitting at 20. There's 10, 20, 30. Let's go to 40. And that jump beyond it, I want to be able to kind of get pretty accurate. Give that a try. Well, maybe I'm not going to give it a try and make sure. I guess I could just keep going down. No, I can't. That's as far. Oh, wait, we can go up. There it is. Okay, it's a little bit of a snug fit. So, and it could have gotten boogered up or something like that. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of been beat on a bit. So, I'm thinking maybe just a little bit more. All right, let's do one more thousandths. All right, we're sitting at 4. That's 3 thousandths over. I'm thinking that's going to be plenty. Yep. I mean, it fits mostly in there. So basically, we probably got a couple of burrs on this. Yeah, I can see some stuff there. Let me get a file. Yeah, there it goes. Caught on that one little burr right there. I can see it. Well, it's gonna go. It's just, you can see this thing here is out of whack a little bit. We just have to fiddle with it. But that'll be fine. Okay, so that's good for that. Now, we get rid of the boring bar, or the boring head. Oh, wait a second. You know what I want to do? Here's what I noticed. I'm looking at this thing. Here's the cap, right here. Can you see that? Okay, let's bring it in a little closer. And if you look at that cap, you can see there's a 45 right there. As it makes contact with the, well, I don't know. Look at that. That seems to be just fine. Okay. I'm happy. So now let's take the boring head out. Let's put our roughing bit back in. tighten that up. Bring this thing up. And we're sitting on 0 here, so we're going to just take this around to 90 degrees. $90 degrees. There it is right there. Is that 90 or 100? 90. Okay. So there it is right there. We'll take our table out to whatever is going to clear. Probably somewhere in that general area, I'm saying. All right. And I'm thinking maybe a little bit more even. Rotate it around. Yeah, we're good. Well, Nick Collier here again, and it's a bright new day. It's, I think, a Friday. The sun is out, but it's a cold October day. We're going to continue with these triple clamps that we're working on. What we've done is cut the 4 holes for the legs. And what we don't know, I mean, and I laid it out with the Bridgeport to make sure that I was accurate, but what I don't know is if I'm actually accurate, if these 2 sets of holes are going to line up with one another. If they do, no problem, and I'm guessing if these 2 line up with one another, these holes will be off a bit, but we've got almost 1/8 of an inch to cut out of these holes before we get up to size anyhow. So we're going to line these 2 holes up and then figure out what's going on with that hole there. Now, how do you line the holes up? There's a good question. And the only way I can come up with the answer is to make 2 little stubs that fit exactly in this hole and exactly in this hole, and put the stub in here and then put the cap on top of that and put the other stub in here to see if we got a good lineup. And if we do, then we just move on. And so it doesn't really have to be anything that's going to last very long. A piece of aluminum is going to be just fine. I got this old piece of plug from out in the scrap bin, and we're going to take that over to the lathe, turn it down to the right sizes, and make 2 of them. So stick with me. We're going to have some fun. All right, we found ourselves a bit that's going to work, and we'll just get started here. Oh, that's definitely too low. going to measure it. Okay, we have 7,875. So we're sitting too high. 7,900. 7,850, just up a little bit. 7,875. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and take and cut it off. Okay, it's a pretty much a do or die situation here. Either this thing works or I figure out which of these two plates I'm going to replace. Probably that one because it's going to be a lot less effort. But let's hope we're not going to have to replace any of them. So we drop this in. And the next one, keep your fingers crossed. Okay. Come on, baby. Oh, man. Look at that. Right down. Right exactly where it's supposed to be. And sure enough, these holes are off. I'm going to bring you in to show you that part. Okay, so these two holes have totally indexed. Now look at the small hole here, the pivot hole. It's out by, oh, I'd say 20 thousandths or so, which is no problem because we got plenty of room to straighten that hole up, and we will be doing that ASAP. All right, so here's how we approach this. We got our two sleeves in here, so we know this clamp and that clamp are totally centered with each other in the important places, which is where the tubes go through. So what we needed to do was find dead center between the two holes. So we wiggled our way onto this corner and wiggled our way into that corner and got those two measurements, brought it in halfway, and it turns out that this hole is off by, oh, I don't know, maybe 100 thousandths. It's this way by 100 thousandths. And then it's also off this way. No, wait a second, which way? It's off this way by, oh, maybe 150 thousandths. So we're lucky we got this set up. We got that all organized. Now we go down dead center in the post hole, and we have a perfectly centered, everything is going to work just fine sort of set of triple clamps. So we take this down. Oh wait, I need to make it bigger. I've already made a couple of cuts just to test it out and see how it's going to go. So now we go ahead and add about 40 thousandths. Bring it down. Lock it in. Okay, it's a new day, and we've still got this hole to cut, and we're all set up to do it. All we need to do is turn the machine on and get going. So hang in there with us. Something about like that, I'd say. Well, we need to index the head. Let's take it a 30 thou. Okay, so what happened was is that our hole was back this way just a little bit too far. We have an 1.125" shaft that we can run down there, and we need to machine a little bit of it, so a little less than an 1.125", and then the rest of the shaft going up is 1 inch. So so what we did was simply just moved back a little bit to kind of even out the amount of gap there is on the two ends here. And now it's skipping here and here, and then it's hitting here and here. So we're going to take it out another, oh, I don't know, let's just take it out another 20 for the moment. See what happens. At some point, it's going to start hitting all the way. And that might have been it. No, not quite. It's skipping just a little bit up there at the top. Okay, so we have our whole board to the size we want to go to. Now what we need to do is to put a just a little little counter bore right in, just and it literally is just 200 thousandths thick, so that this nut can drop down to the level of the triple clamp itself. So we've added about, I can't remember, let's see, how much have we added? Not much. Let's add something. We're going to crank in, 30 thousandths or so. We're going to start our first turn, and we're going to bring it out to 1, 2, 25, and we're starting with 165, 155. So we have 200 thousandths to go and 200 thousandths down. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. .223. That should be a reasonably good slip fit in there. Yeah, let's get rid of some of the scunge. Yep, nice. Okay, so that takes care of that. Our bottom is done, our top is done. We need to clean off that edge. Now what we need to do is come back here and create the radius back in the back here.